Liverpool are into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup after they beat Norwich 2-1 thanks to a Takumi Minamino brace. The Japan international struck twice in the first half as the Reds cruised to what looked to be a routine victory until Norwich mounted a late comeback. However, Jurgen Klopp's much-changed side ensured the hunt for the quadruple is still on. You're watching the Debrief live on the Blood Red YouTube channel with myself, Patrick Smith, and I'm glad to be joined by Theo Squires, who is live from the Anfield press box. So, Theo, what did you make of that one?
Like you were just saying before we went on there, it was a bit boring, wasn't it? We had the drama of the League Cup final. It was end to end and so grueling a match. It was one where you couldn't take your eyes away from. This one, you get the 2 goals and it's like, oh, it's job done. Can we just go home early? Can we just finish it at half time? Let Norwich focus on staying up. Let Liverpool focus on the quadruple. You know, they got their consolation. They made Liverpool fight for it in the end. Liverpool got the job done. That's what they needed to do. When you make 10 changes after a cup final, usually you'll see sides have a little bit of a hangover, and Liverpool didn't really. You could see there were players there who were wanting to make an impact, who were wanting to make up for Wembley disappointment and prove that they're still here. Like Curtis Jones had a very good first half before he was substituted, and I'm sure we're going to get onto him in more detail. That's probably Takumi Minamino's best performance for Liverpool. He was superb. And you just look at the squad. Joe Gomez, he's another one who missed out at Wembley, came in and he had a good performance put in today. It's the strength and depth that Jurgen Klopp's got, and when he can make 10 changes and win 2-1 against a Norwich team who didn't make it entirely easy, they gave him a fight, but Liverpool had enough quality to get the job done. It's what you want to see. Number of changes, they got the victory. Good for you. A couple of good individual performances into the quarterfinals draw, which will take place tomorrow before the Everton game.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to start with Taki, haven't we? 2 brilliant goals. His 10th for the season as well. Really good numbers, actually, given he's, probably our 5th choice attacker now. Great performance from him, Theo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2 really good finishes. And he's a confidence player, isn't he? He's one where if he starts slowly or he's getting bullied a bit, he might go missing. But he got his goal, and then you could just see the confidence ooze out of him. And he grew into it more and more, and he got better and better as the game went along. The second one is such a good finish, like so much power. Tim Krul didn't stand a chance. It's one we saw similar, I think, at the start of the season against Norwich. Maybe it's something the Liverpool's analysis team has picked out, where they, they get the second balls from corners on the edge of the box and then just absolutely leather it. Mohamed Salah did it on the opening day of the season, of course. But then the first goal as well, it's such a well-worked team move. I think it's Henderson to Jones to Tsimikas. Rigi brings it down in the box, and great vision from him to just tee it to the side for Minamino, who again led us at home. He's got some power in that right foot of his, as he showed today. As I said, it's probably his best Anfield performance since he was a Red Bull Salzburg player, but long may it continue. He's leading goal scorer in the League Cup this season. He's now Liverpool's leading goal scorer in the FA Cup as well. Just loves the domestic cup competitions, doesn't he? And he'll be itching to see who they get in this quarter-final round. When you think he's back to play Norwich, Preston, Leicester, some of these not lesser sides, but not these glamorous names. You could have a Merseyside derby in the quarterfinals. You could have Man City, you could have Chelsea. What a chance that could be for him.
Yeah, exactly. He's formed a reputation of a sort of cup hero at Anfield, doesn't he, Minamino? But there were 10 changes there, as you did mention. Much changed side from the League Cup final. Who impressed you the most today, though? Because there was a few decent performances, weren't there?
Yeah, there was a few. Minamino obviously is the standout, isn't he? He's got his 2 goals and he was working so hard. He looked high on confidence. And I think there was a reason why when Klopp was making the changes later on, obviously he can name 5 in this, Minamino was the one forward who stayed on. He wanted to give him that opportunity for his hat-trick.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame that Liverpool didn't get that penalty for handball, because you wonder whether James Milner would have let him have the penalty and go for the hat-trick. We'll never know. But away from that, I'd say Curtis Jones, he did really impress me in the first half. Not really sure why he was substituted. I'm sure we'll find out in the press conference whether it was tactical or if it was for injury reasons. We're hoping it's more tactical than injury, but I'm not sure he deserved to be taken off.
I've seen rumours it was a thigh injury, but I can't say that's definite, but I'm not sure, yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll find out after this, won't we? In, 20 minutes, half an hour. Harvey Elliott, he did well when he came on. Luis Diaz, he's just class whenever he plays. He only got, 10, 15 minutes, and Norwich couldn't deal with him on that left-hand side. As I've already mentioned, Joe Gomez, he was impressive. Back at centre-half tonight, he did what he does well. Showed his pace, showed his position. He looked so much more comfortable there than he did it right back against Norwich a couple of weeks ago. Henderson, maybe a surprise to see him starting this one off the final, but it's another game where he's just been great. Considering a month ago we were saying he was looking a bit rubbish and low on form, He's certainly responded to his critics in emphatic fashion in the last few weeks. Just going through this list now. Origi, he showed glimpses, got his assist, and he was lively in the first half. Maybe his performance level dropped a little bit after the second goal. He wanted a goal for himself. Clearly, it didn't come. But yeah, when you look at it, the fact that it was 10 changes, the team's not going to have that rhythm when you make so many. No one played badly. It was a good all-round team performance in the circumstances.
Yeah, 10 changes. It was such a shame to see Curtis Jones go. I think that was one of his best halves I've seen, this season, definitely from him. But two lads who came off the bench, Tyler Morton and Harvey Elliott. More so Harvey Elliott, another great performance from him, a bit of energy that we needed.
Yeah, we weren't sure if he was going to play or not, because obviously he didn't play for the under-19s earlier today, and your initial thought is, he's been safe for this one. But he did come off injured against Arsenal last week, and he was pictured on crutches. So it was good to see him actually be fit to take that place on the bench and have another appearance. I think it's only his second appearance of 2022. I suppose that's almost one of the fall guys of Liverpool's injury list, dwindling so much. Like, we saw so much of him in the first half of the season. You think of Champions League nights at the San Siro, and now he's had Norwich and maybe Shrewsbury. I think that's right. But it's been a good season for him, even if he doesn't play again this season. He's made that step up well, and he's just done what we've seen from him so far. He can pass the ball around well. Number 6 isn't maybe his best position, but he's adapted to it well in the first team. He gets stuck in when you need to. It's good to see him back out there. Like, it's always good to see the youngsters given some minutes. I'm going to say this in the nice possible way. Hopefully we don't see him again this season, because it means that they'll have other players fully fit. The only condition I want to see him play again is if the Premier League is already won before the end of the season. So you just put him out the last day, or you've got the FA Cup final and it's already won. Just give him one of those run-outs so you can rest other players. Champions League final as well. But if everything is still to play for, your next season's going to be more his year, you'd think, when you'd imagine James Milner's potentially moved on. Yeah. When Thiago and Jordan Henderson are a year older, you may be looking more Harvey Elliott to take a first-team position. We don't know what's happening with Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita with their future their contracts up in just over a year. It's these younger players who could be filling those gaps. I know that's a lot of pressure to put on Tyler Morton's shoulders, but he's had an impressive first season so far.
Well, it seemed like a classic hangover game today, as we phrased at the start. We were just sort of waiting for it to be the 2-0 finish here, weren't we? But Norwich did somehow, I've no idea myself, find themselves a lifeline. Joe Gomez might be slightly at fault, allowing quite a lot of space for the strike, but it was a hell of a hit, Theo, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got some power in it. Alisson couldn't really do much to get on that. And I think we were all bemused when it was his last impact of the game. He was subbed off straight afterwards. I think he was quite surprised as well. But yeah, it's a good finish. It doesn't really matter now when we're looking back at it. Yeah, Joe Gomez might be a little disappointed that he didn't close him down quicker. But these things happen, don't they? If you hit the shot with that much power when you're 30 yards out, I know it's a very Sunday League shout, isn't it? Stop the shot. But it's rare you expect to see Alisson beaten from that distance. Maybe it's a bit of complacency. It's not the end of the world. You've got to remember, Joe Gomez is a bit rusty this season. He's not had many minutes. Certainly not in his favoured position. I think he's only had 1 minute there in the Premier League, and that was in a back five when Robertson had been sent off against Tottenham. He's had a couple more appearances at centre-back in Champions League, in the domestic cups, maybe one in the Champions League, I might be misremembering. And it's also a newish partnership as well. He's not played with Canate that much. It's going to happen when you don't have that much minutes on the pitch, when it's all chopping and changing, when you're in the squad 1 week, you're not the next. It's just a price you're going to have to pay when you've got this squad depth at the moment and you're rotating. But if it's the one blip against his name, the rest of his performance he can be relatively pleased with. It's a platform to build on, and it's what you want to see from Joe Gomez, because I know people are thinking he might want to move on in the summer, or this might be the end of his Liverpool career because he's at that age now where he needs to be playing. But we all know how talented he is, and we all know if it wasn't for the injuries, he'd definitely be first choice for England, and he'd probably be first choice for Liverpool. He has shown that he's been that good in the past. He just needs those runner games to get that rhythm. Whether he gets at Anfield, I don't know. There's still 2 months of the season left for him to stake that claim or make decisions about his future. But yeah, he's played his part in helping him get through to the FA Cup quarterfinals, Norwich consolation or not.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's still that fantastic player there. It's just a shame with the injuries, and he's clearly rusty. He just can't get that run of games, and I don't know whether he will get that run of games at Anfield. But as for Alisson, he'll be disappointed with the goal he let in. He's pretty quiet all night. I think it must have caught him by surprise. But he did pull up another crucial one-on-one save, didn't he? I believe his name's John Rowe, the young Norwich striker. He put through and go, hell of a save from Alisson again.
There it was, and I think it's a cold Anfield night, 8:15 kickoff, which is ridiculous in winter, by the way. I can accept it, Champions League semi-final territory. When it's still sunny at this sort of like 9 o'clock, you can have a late on it. No, February, don't do it. But yeah, he'd have been cold considering it's this late and he hadn't had much to do saves-wise. But he's pulled that one out. James Milner's got done for pace down that flank, which is to be expected, I suppose, when he's out of position, 36-year-old against someone with a bit of pace.
We can't blame him.
Late in the game as well. But it was a venomous shot from Young Rowe. It was a good save from Alisson. He got good gloves to it. Just a shame he couldn't do the same for Rupp's effort a few minutes earlier. I'm not going to say his place is up for grabs or anything, because he is still best keeper in the world. But he can be happy with that one, even if he might be a little bit miffed. At least got no clean sheet after Keller's heroics in the League Cup at the weekend.
Well, Theo, the FA Cup quarter-final draw is going to take place tomorrow before Everton's game with non-league Boreham Wood. We join Chelsea and Man City, amongst others, in the hat. Is there any preference you'd like to draw for the quarter-final?
I've said this in our blog. If they get through, because I believe they've got Huddersfield Town on Monday, I want Nottingham Forest. It's a tie with history. It's one you'd expect Liverpool to win. It's whether home or away. It's still nice to play that sort of side again. It's just a throwback to the 70s and 80s when Liverpool were potentially believing they could win a quadruple every year. Now, obviously, it's never happened to any club, never mind Liverpool. But it is that nice throwback. You certainly rather get a side like that than a Merseyside derby or Chelsea and City.
Maybe
Chelsea,
we'll get Boreham Wood.
Maybe. You said it, not me. But as long as Chelsea and City face each other, I think we can be happy with that. That'd be a good quarter-final tie. Let them kick to whatever out of each other. Liverpool get a place in a nice quarter-final draw. Then 90 minutes from Wembley, then 90 minutes from Wembley again. Fingers crossed. Quadruple is on.
The quadruple is on. We'll have our eyes peeled on the draw tomorrow, I'm sure. And of course, we're going to look forward to the hunt for the quadruple because we're back again on Saturday in the Premier League against West Ham at Anfield. And Theo and I will be back with the Debrief live then. But until Saturday, it's goodbye for now.